Welcome everyone. Today I will be showcasing you how can you build Spring RESTful services using a Spring Boot application. This will be a very basic Spring Boot application where we will be focusing on building RESTful endpoints, and we will be demonstrating how can you call those endpoints using a Postman client. So we will be not integrating with any database, and we will be mocking the database using a static map to keep it simple and to keep the video short. Okay, we need to have Java. We are using Java 17 and Maven along with Eclipse to demonstrate our code. So before getting started, I'll tell you what all domain classes we are using here. We have an employee class, which is nothing but a Pojo, where we will be defining three fields: first name, last name, and middle ID. Also, we will be having two constructors. Okay, one with no arguments and one with all the arguments as a constructor. So this will be holding all the records what you create for an employee. Okay, then we will be moving on to another class, another interface, that which is nothing but an employee service, which is nothing but our business interface. Okay, so any operations we do, any CRUD operations we do, we will be doing through the business interface. So we have five methods which are defined in this business interface, and we will be providing an implementation to these methods in employee service IMPL class. Okay, so here whatever implementation, whatever methods we have defined in the employee class will be implemented in employee service IMPL. So this will be a service class which will provide service to our requirements. Okay, so and this once that is done, we will be creating a controller class, and from this controller class we will be calling all our business methods, and these methods will be exposed to the outer world in the form of REST endpoints. Okay, so let's move on to Eclipse. So let's get started. I will be creating a Spring Boot application using Eclipse. You can also use STS tool, which comes from the official Spring Boot website. Okay, go and choose Spring Starter project. Okay, I will be naming this as Spring REST template example. Okay, I will be choosing as Maven, and also I will be choosing Java as my version. Okay, okay, since we are using, let us add the dependencies. Since we are creating a REST controller project, we need to add Spring Web to our project. This will be the dependency, and based on the dependencies what we define, Spring Boot will boot up the application with this boilerplate code. Okay, so let's get started. Let's wait for our project to get set up. Our project is ready to use, so let us start creating our classes. So this is a class which was created by the Spring, okay, for the Spring Boot application to run. So let it load. Let us wait for it to get loaded. So this class was created by the Spring framework, and this will be the main class from where Spring will start executing our program. Now let us create our first class, that is our model class, which is the core class for our operations over here. My Eclipse is a little bit slow today. Okay, so let me go and create a I'll create in under a new package, and I'll say employee. Okay, so our new class is ready to use. Let me implement a serializable interface. Okay, and also let me add a default serializable key here. Okay, we now we need to create three fields in this class: first name, last name, and employee id, and two constructors, one with all the fields as argument constructor, and one without any field, that is your default constructor. So I have already, just to save the time, I have kept the fields ready. Okay, let me add those fields here directly. Okay, and let me generate the constructor. Put your source. Okay, let me generate it. Also, let me generate one more constructor. Okay, I can do through Eclipse itself. Go to the source, generate constructor. Let me remove the fields. Let me generate it. Now let me add getter setter methods to the fields what we have added. Okay, select all. Let me exclude serialization ID. Okay, so our object is ready to use now. Model object is ready to use. Now let us focus on creating our business interface, where we will be defining all our business methods. So let me go and create a let me create an interface under a new package called service. So let me go new, let me choose interface, and let me create a package called service. Then let me define a business interface, employee, service. Okay, so our interface is ready. Now let me define. Okay, now let me define all these five methods over here: find all, find by id, delete by employee, delete employee, create employee, update employee. So let me get started one by one. Okay, so we will be needing this five methods, where I will be adding all these five methods here. Okay, the first method is find by employee. Okay, okay, so first we will be doing a find all operation, where we will be retrieving back all the employees which are found in our mock database. Then we will be doing a find by id, then create employee, update employee, and delete employee. So once this is ready, now let me go and create a implementation class to this, and this will be our service class. Okay, let me go and create a class. I'll mark this as an IMPL. Okay, and I'll say super class employee. Oh, sorry. Let me add an interface employee. Okay, so our now let me annotate this class with an annotation called service. Once we have annotated this, now let me go and create our mock db public static map. Okay, and here the key will be the integer, and the value will be the employee object. So this will be our mock db, and it will be a new hash map. Okay, now we will be also creating a primary key for our okay, so let me initialize this for a while. Now we need to initialize our database, so I will be creating a init method. It's and this min method will be called by the Spring framework, and this will be a lifecycle method by Spring. I'll annotate this as a post construct method. So this is ready. Now let me start adding my detail. Let me initialize my mockdb. So I've kept it ready to save your time and make this video short. Okay, I have basically what I'm doing is like I am adding some values to the map. Okay, so you can see over here I've added few values. Okay, so this is ready. Now let's start implementing all our business methods. What I do is like I'll go to the find all method. I'll take my mockdb, so it's returning a list, so I'll create an array list over here. Okay, and I will pass mockdb.values all the employees which are there in the map mockdb. Then we will be doing a find by id. We'll be saying mockdb.get I by id, so this will give us the record based on the id. Then we will be creating an employee record. So in order to create an employee record, I'll just copy this. Okay, and okay, first let me initial. Okay, so far in my we have used the id range from 1 to 3. So let me increase, keep this primary key, current primary key to 3. Then let me increment this to 1 and let me assign it to my this, and my primary key for the new object is ready. Okay, before we save it we need to increment and we need to save it. Now let me take the mockdb. Okay, and let me say put and the primary key and the employee object. Also we need to set our primary key to our object, employee object. Okay, this is not, once this is ready, now let us do a find by id operation and we will retrieve the latest object which got saved in our mockdb. Okay, so this is ready. Now the same thing we will be doing it for the update operation. So what I do is like we need not have to regenerate the primary key because we will be receiving the primary key here because we are updating the record here. So let me add it. Okay, let me put this and we will be again doing a find by id. Okay, so this is also ready. Okay, once this is ready, now let us go and implement our delete method. So delete method is very easy. Go take your mockdb and say remove by id. Okay, so it returns me an employee object. Okay, if there is a matching object to that, if it is not null, then we say it is removed. If it is not, we say it is false. Okay, so we have implemented all these all business methods in our service class. Now we need to go and create a controller class so that these methods can be used by the external entity or any app or any kind of any client from the external application. So let me go and create a package. Okay, let me directly create a class under the package controller. Okay, let me mark this as an employee controller. Okay, now let me finish this. Now let me annotate this with rest controller. Okay, so that spring will get to know it's a rest controller class and it will delegate all the requests to this class. Also I'll be adding a request mapping so that we can differentiate the request based on the prefix. Okay, so we will be defining a path. Okay, in the path we will be saying employee. Any request which starts with the keyword employee will be delegated over here. Now we need to call the business methods which we have implemented. So we will be injecting employee service impl through with its super interface, business interface, by using the concept of AutoWare from Spring. Okay, and we'll be marking this as a private. Okay, now we are good to use. Now this is ready. Now we need to call all these methods. So I will be calling all the 5 methods which are defined here, and the implementation is provided in this class. So let me get started, and I'll start adding uh, those methods over here. Okay, so just to save our time, I've already kept those methods ready here, the skeleton of those methods ready. Now let us start adding the adding restful annotations to that, so that these methods are available to the outer world. So the first thing is like, let me provide the implementation. Okay, before, okay, so this is a find all. So we will be marking it as a require get mapping. Okay, and let us define the path to this. So the path will be, okay, I will be saying it as a find all. Okay, so once this is done, so let me call the business interface dot find all. Okay, so we are all good, and let me add a return statement to this. Okay, so this is ready. Now let me go and create a find by id. Okay, so let me annotate this with get mapping. Okay, let me define the path, and let me add a path variable id. Okay, so, and also let me annotate this with a variable path variable. Now let me add a return type. Let me call my employee service dot find by id. So this is ready. Now let me go and create an employee. Okay, we will be using post mapping because we want to pass a request body. Okay, so I will be using a post mapping, and I will be adding a path to this. So let me say this as a create. Okay, and let me annotate this as a request body. Okay, so when we pass an employee JSON, an employee object in the form of JSON, it will be deserialized to an employee object. Okay, let me return, call a return statement, then the business interface, and we'll say create. Okay, employee service dot create employee. Okay, pass the employee object. Okay, then next comes our update operation. So here I will be using put mapping. Okay, and we will be using a path. Okay, and we will be saying it as an update. Okay, so, and also we need to know which object we need to update. So I will be adding a path variable. Okay, let me annotate this as a path variable. Also we need to have a request body. Okay, we are all set. So let me add a return statement. Okay, employee service dot update employee. Okay, so this is done. Now let me go and add a delete mapping. Okay, and let me define a path, and I'll say just it will be, oops, it will be a path variable because we will be having a single delete operation. And let me declare this the path variable. Okay, then let me add a return statement. Okay, then let me call the employee service dot delete. Okay, and our, okay, all our RESTful endpoints are ready to use. So let me go and deploy this. I'll be running this application in the debug mode. Okay, Okay, our application is launched on port number 8080. Let me go to the postman. Postman is the client to call RESTful endpoints. I'll let me choose get 8080 employee. This is the employee. Okay, because this employee comes from, we need to, because we have written employee here, right? So this will be employee. Then we will be calling find all method. Let me go and call find all method. Let's wait for the response. Okay, we got the response. This was the pre-initialized data which we added initially. Okay, so now let me go and check find by id method. Okay, you can see we are getting find by id method. Now let us go and create a new record. Let me choose this as a post, and let me choose as a body, and let me choose it as a raw, and I will be choosing here as a json. Okay, so I will be taking this response, and this is how request body will look like. So I'll be adding Juhi, and I'll say Matthews. Okay, let me create a new. Okay, Juhi Matthews got created. Let me do a find all, and let me see whether Juhi got added. Okay, so Juhi is added over here. Now let me do a find by id. Okay, Juhi, we can find Juhi by id also. Now let us go and edit uh, the data for Juhi. Okay, so what we do is we will be creating, we will be doing using put. Okay, and we will be typing localhost. Okay, okay, and we will be saying update. We will be choosing body. We will be saying raw. Then we will be saying json, and we will be editing this before, because in our update method we expect a path variable. We will be defining the id here, and I will be updating Matthews to Dion, Juhi Dion. Let me put. Okay, Juhi got updated with the new latest last name. Now let me do a find all. Okay, let us check the value for Juhi. Juhi data got updated. Then let us do a find by ID. So Juhi Young also got updated. Okay, now let us do and write a delete operation. Let me choose a new request. I'll be choosing a delete. Then let me choose local. Okay, localhost 8080 employee. What is the signature for a delete operation? So in this, we are just need to pass the ID. So I'll go and pass 4, which is Juhi's ID, and we will be deleting. So we got it as true because the Juhi object was there. If we pass some other ID which was not there, we would have got it as false. Okay, so we got it as false. Now let me verify whether Juhi is there in the data set. Okay, it's not, she is not there. We'll check whether Juhi can be found in all employees. Okay, Juhi is not found in all employees also. So coming to end of this video, we have showcased you how can you build a simple RESTful services using Spring Boot. Okay, we have not used any kind of database. We have kept it simple. Just we wanted to show how can you build RESTful services. Okay, thanks for watching. Keep supporting. Bye bye.